The scene is by now familiar, only the location changes. This is Kryvyi Rih in central Ukraine, President Volodymyr Zelensky's hometown, and in the early hours of Tuesday morning, the target of a Russian missile strike. Police body cam footage shows the chaotic aftermath. Survivors escaping a 5-story apartment building struck as they slept. Some dazed, dozens injured, and many dead. Missiles and drones were aimed at targets across Ukraine, including the capital Kyiv, where air defences were able to intercept them. And as Ukraine continues its counter-offensive to retake occupied territory, it is likely more will come.
Former President Donald Trump was treated to a hero's welcome at a Miami restaurant after his historic arrest and arraignment in Miami. It's his birthday. Trump's motorcade left the courthouse after he pleaded not guilty to 37 charges against him. Accusations that he willfully retained classified documents in his Florida home and tried to hide or destroy some documents even after he was ordered to return them. Outside the court, hundreds of Trump supporters shouted their support. It got noisy at times, but fears of violence outside the courthouse turned out to be overblown.
Well, we've been hearing from the Chief of Staff of the Ground Self-Defense Forces, who's confirmed that an 18-year-old trainee, military trainee, has been arrested after he fired a rifle at 3 soldiers, 1 man in his 50s and 2 others in their 20s. We also understand now that the shooting happened during a fire training, a live fire training at that military shooting range. And we also know that 2 now have died. The Defense Ministry also said that the 3 who were shot at, the 3 victims, were the instructors, that this live fire shooting training was for trainees, for new recruits and potential candidates, and that we understand he was a new recruit, the 18-year-old shooter.
Tonight, the US military says it's investigating a helicopter mishap that's left 22 US service members injured in northeastern Syria.
This was an MH-47 Chinook that had a problem with one rotor that caused a hard landing.
The US military says no enemy fire was reported at the time. The incident Sunday left service members with injuries of various degrees, according to US Central Command. A US official tells ABC News 15 were transferred to a military hospital in Germany.
As of right now, all of the service members involved in that crash are in stable condition.
This comes after officials ordered a 24-hour stand-down of all aviation units back in April to focus on safety protocols.
Israel once more sending a clear message to Iran, to the US, and to the world.
Israel's security policy and situation are the direct result of Israel's strength. Our position is clear. No agreement with Iran will be binding to Israel, which will continue to do everything to defend itself.
The warning comes after Iranian and American officials appeared to confirm indirect talks between the 2 countries, focusing on Tehran's rapidly developing and highly controversial nuclear program. So far, both deny any reports of an interim nuclear deal, but the talks between Tehran and Washington have reportedly been held through Oman.
The South Korean government has filed a damages suit against North Korea over the regime's demolition of the Inter-Korean Liaison Office in 2020. Calling the demolition an illegal act, Seoul's Unification Ministry filed a lawsuit on Wednesday seeking $35 million in compensation for the loss of state assets. The legal action comes as the statute of limitation for damages to property related to the case is set to expire this coming Friday. The ministry said the suit is aimed at exercising its claims for damages before the expiration date and helping recoup the government's losses.
The number of people who died after a Kenyan pastor ordered his followers to starve to death in order to meet Jesus has surpassed 300. Authorities said this Tuesday, warning that the death toll is expected to rise higher as more exhumations are planned. The death toll increased to 303 after 19 more bodies were recovered from mass graves in the vast forested land in Kilifi County of coastal Kenya, where Pastor Paul Mackenzie and his followers lived. Coastal Regional Commissioner Rhoda Onyacha said that 613 people tied to the area remain missing.